Hi everyone, welcome to Red Fox Sewing and Crafting, and welcome to my craft room. I'm Joanna. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make this mirrored folio here. It's the same on both sides. So you have a flap on the outer part and then a top flap on the middle section with pocket. Again, got a flap here with a pocket, and then an outer flap right here. This is a really simple, quick and easy project to make. So, to make it, you will need one 7 by 12 2 5 1/8 by 6 1/8, 2 2 5/8 by 7s, 2 4 7/8 by 7 3/4, 2 5 3/8 by 7s, and 2 3 1/2 by 5s. So we're going to grab our scoreboards out. And I usually like putting my scoreboard mat on the bottom, just so that I know where it is. We're going to start with the 7 by 12 inch, and we're going to score at half, 5 1/2, 6 1/2, and at 11 1/2. Grab your two 5 3/8 by 7 inch pieces, and with the 5 3/8 at the top, we're going to score both of them at half. So 5 3/8 at the top and score at half. Your two 4 7/8 by 7 3/4 inch pieces, you want the 7 3/4 at the top, score at half and at 3/4. Again, 7 3/4 at the top, half and 3/4. Our two 2 5/8 by 7, we want the 2 5/8 at the top, score at half and 5/8. Again, we're scoring at half and 5/8. And the last two pieces we are scoring are going to be the 5 1/8 by 6 1/8. Our two 3 1/2 by 5s are going to be the little mats on the 2 5/8 by 7 inch flaps. They're going to be these two pieces on the outer flaps, so those don't get scored. Our last pieces, we are going to score each of them at half and at 5/8. So starting at the 6 1/8 at the top, score at half and 5/8. Oops. rotate it 1/2 and 5/8. Rotate it one more time, 1/2 and 5/8. Start with a 6 1/8 at the top. Gonna score it 1/2, 5/8, 1/2 and 5/8. Rotate it one more time, 1/2 and 5/8. Now we can put our scoreboards away and burnish everything. And with your 1/8 inch marks, you just want to be very careful with them and make sure that you are getting the full 1/8 inch mark and not accidentally folding it in a weird place. So just take your time folding all your pieces, and then we will come back and I will show you how to put it together. And that's your base. Now we're just going to fold that for now and work on our two flaps, our two 4 7/8 by 7 3/4 inch flaps. So we're just going to miter the corners here. And I have a We Are Memory Keepers punch here. It has a 3-bump scallop, a 2-bump scallop, and then a little indent. I'm going to be using the 2-bump scallop edge on this project. You don't have to use a punch if you don't want to. You can keep it pointy, but with the paper that I'm using, I think it looks nice. So these are ready, and I'm also going to prep the 2 pockets. So with the pockets, you want to miter the 1/2 inch tabs. And we're just mitering the 1/2 inch tabs. We aren't mitering on the flaps, we're not mitering the 1/4 inch gussets, and on the pockets or the smaller flaps, we're not cutting into the 1/8 inch flaps. We're keeping those in 1/8 inch gussets. We're keeping those because those are gussets and it wouldn't look right if you cut into them. So on the bottom, to keep our little box pockets working properly, what I'm going to do is cut a miter cut just on the 1/2 inch piece down to the second score mark, like this. I don't know if you can see it, but it's cut to the top one. And then I'm going to cut across just to the second score mark, and then I'm going to do the same thing down here. Cut at an angle to the score mark and then cut up to the point. So then you have the two tabs, the two half-inch tabs mitered, but then the two 1/8" gussets you have cut straight at an angle, or straight, so that when you put it together, it's got the full edge. It's kept its box shape. And then in the back, it folds nicely into the two flaps that you put on the page. So same thing on the other side. Just like this. And I'm going to do that to my second pocket. Now all of our pieces are ready for the inner two parts. So we're going to grab our base and work on the inside. So I'm going to work with the pockets first because that's a little easier. I'm going to work on the bottom tab first. Add a little bit of glue to the tab. And we're going to flip this around because the bottom is a little flatter. Going to line this up with the center, the large center part. Best as you can, and stick it down. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of tape to the bottom. And then the two side tabs are going to be a little bit tricky, but I'll walk you through how to do it. So I'm just going to add glue to both of my tabs, just like I normally do. But I'm going to get like something flat. I have this large ruler here that I'm going to use. And then I'm going to take my first side and push against the bottom and do my best to line it up where I want to put my pocket, making sure that it's not going past my score mark. And then I'm just going to run my ruler inside or whatever flat tool you have, and then just run it on the inside and just stick it down like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Line it up as best as you can. Stick this inside. And then this is about 1/8 of an inch thick, so I like to kind of rub against the table and also push this all the way to the bottom and to the edge, and then just kind of rub my fingers across it too to help it stick. So that's my first pocket, and we're going to do the second pocket the exact same way. So start with the bottom tab. And put this around again. Adding a little bit of glue to the tab. I'm just going to line this up as best as you can to your face and stick it down. Now I do have some tape that'll go all the way down into my pockets, but it is, no I don't. No I don't. So stuck some tape here. And now we're going to do the two side tabs again. Exactly the same way as we did before. Glue on both tabs. And then push against the bottom, lining up the side as best as you can. And then take your tool, run it through, stick down, go to the other side, push on the bottom, line the side up as best as you can. Stick your tool in and stick it down. And there you have your two 1/8" gusset pockets. Now we have our two flaps. These are going to go over top of our pockets. So we're going to add glue to the tab here, and gonna line this up with my pocket as best as I can, while also making sure that I am aligned with the top. And once I'm happy with it, I'm going to stick it down, just like that. And then you can kind of fix your flap so that it lays flat with the gusset at the top. And then on the other side, gonna add our second flap here. Lining it up with the top and with our pocket here. Scoot it over just a tad. That's good. And then stick it down. And then just furnish it in place, or kind of just fold it in place. So now we have our two center pieces, and now we're going to work with our two smaller flaps and our little mats. So again, I'm just going to miter my 1/2" tabs, not cutting through my 1/8" gussets. And I'm going to stick these along the outer edge of my folio here. So I'm going to just line this up like so. Varnish really good, and got to punch my corner, so I'm going to do that really quick. And then I'm going to add this to the other side of my folio. Lining it up with the edge and stick it down. There. Now we have two flaps here. Going to punch my two mats here, the corners of them, so that they match everything else in my folio. And then we need to cover the front of our small flaps and the back of our mats, because if you look in this one, our mats get stuck onto the flap. So we need to cover this part and this part, because we won't have access to them after we stick them down. So I have all of my paper here that I'm going to be using for this folio, and I'm going to find the mats that I chose for my pocket, my flats, and my little there. So I'm going to punch these, glue them down, and then we can put these on these. It's time to put these on the flaps. So let me look really quick here. I put it an inch away from the sides. So I'm going to grab my ruler here, line it up with the edge, and then I'm going to make sure this is going the right way, and then I'm going to line up my mat here against my ruler, just like this, and then I'm going to take my fingers, put it where it overlaps, and add glue to the smaller part. I'm going to line my ruler back up really quick, and then stick my mat right on top. Then when I flip it out, you don't see any glue here. Nice little trick. Go to the other one. And same thing. So line up half-inch mark. Flip it around. Find where it lines up. Add glue around this little sliver here. Line my ruler back up, and then stick my mat down. Just like that. And there you go. Have a nice little folio they can tuck pictures in or whatever you like. And it's nice and small. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you make one yourself. See you next time. Bye.